to the other big story that we're tracking today, which is from the telecom sector. Well, as soon as the telecom industry thought that the whole AGR issue is behind them, they can now focus on increasing tariffs. Along comes Reliance Jio with a postpaid plan which sends shockwaves through the industry. Let's take a look at what happened to stocks in the telecom sector today as a result. My colleague Sunita Nagpal has more.
Absolutely, Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea stocks took it on the chin after Jio announced their postpaid plans yesterday. These postpaid plans are slightly attractive and lower than peers, and they also offer additional OTT subscriptions which could lead to some kind of disruption in the postpaid. Why is Reliance going for postpaid customers? This is largely because postpaid customers are really the cream of the lot, and if you look at the ARPUs, which is average revenue per user, in case of postpaid customer, it's almost 3 times higher than what it is with a prepaid customer. So that's why it is very important to increase the share of postpaid customers in order to increase your ARPUs. In case of Reliance Jio, the postpaid customers account for only 1% of their total subscriber. In case of Bharti, it is 5%, and in case of Vodafone, it's much higher at 8%. And if you look at how much contribution comes from postpaid customers, in case of Bharti, this 5% postpaid customers account for roughly about 15% of revenues, and in case of Vodafone, it's as high as 26% of the revenues. So any kind of churn in this segment could hit substantially to both Bharti Airtel and Vodafone, and that's what has got market worried. But having said that, most analysts believe that we'll have to wait and watch firstly for a response from the customers, what their reception is for these postpaid plans from Jio, as well as if the peers are also responding and matching these plans. That could also mean that there will be no churns. So we'll have to wait and watch how it pans out.
All right, let's get a quick analysis of what the space is looking like. Rajiv Sharma and A Ramachandran join us. Rajiv, let me get your take first. So, is it safe to say that for Vi and Bharti Airtel to now raise tariffs is next to impossible, at least for the next few weeks, with this postpaid plan in the fray?
Hi, Tamanna. Thanks for having me on the show. So, next few weeks, yes, next few weeks, maybe they don't do anything. But, if we take a little longer term view, our sense is that ARPUs have to go up, and at least in the case of Bharti as well. And, the underlying message from Jio is that Jio is also trying to raise ARPUs, and they're trying to boost their offerings in the postpaid segment where they have been thin and not so much focused. But the underlying is that they believe in taking their ARPUs up. Now, this is an area or segment which they have not focused much on, and they're trying to, first attempt ARPU increase in this segment. Let's say a scenario where this doesn't give adequate results. Then what is the next thing which is going to happen? That Jio will also have to take up ARPUs across the board. And there are, tariff alone is not the only criteria when it comes to postpaid. So postpaid, tariffs have corrected along with prepaid since Jio launch. We've seen huge corrections there. It's a lot to do with enterprise offerings,
right,
because a lot of them are bundle customers, and it's a lot to do with inertia and brand, which the postpaid guys are associated with.
Okay, Mr. Ramachandran, let me get a clear picture from you on what the strategy for the others needs to be now for Vi and for Airtel. Does it have to be a focus on quality to hold on to their postpaid customers somehow with superior service or network, or just cross their fingers and hope for the best?
Hi, Tamanna. See, my view is this, and if you look at, to whom this tariff is aimed at, it is aimed at largely the enterprise customers, if you look at how the plan is also structured. Right, the good news for the incumbent is, enterprise customers and postpaid customers are wired differently from the prepaid customers. Right, so it is not the price alone that will be a determinant, as Rajiv said. Right, there are a variety of stuff that comes into an enterprise offering. The quality of service is good. So I would rather say that it is for incumbent to lose rather than for Jio to gain. That is how I would put it. Right, so it is for whether we or Bharti Airtel, it is for them to to up the quality of the service and offer better services to this postpaid customers so that they don't lose further. uh, that is one part of it. Having said all those things, I think it is going to be a challenge as well, given the kind of the plans that they have launched. The plans are good, right? Two aspects to it. One is the kind of content that they are delivering at the highest level, with the kind of free roaming that they are offering to select geographies. These are all phenomenal offerings per se, right? And can be really attractive even for a postpaid customer who is reluctant to move, or for whom there is a barrier to move. So this is going to be a slightly difficult task, but I think at the end of the day, quality is important, and that is where postpaid customers keep their loyalty to. I'm not going to shift because I'm getting a bunch of free services. I will be loyal to my incumbent operator as long as I am happy with the quality of service. So that is where the bottom line is.
But who is happy? Rajiv, I want you to comment on that. That's the tricky part of the whole situation in general. Quality of service right now in the Indian market is not great, and everyone has been running after the value conscious customer, not the quality conscious customer. Now this sudden pivot has a very mixed strategy to it.
Well, yes, you will have to run for both volume and value, because the way telecom works is that you cannot really cherry pick. It's all about revenue per tower, EBITDA per tower. So everything gets evaluated on the capex you are doing on a per unit basis. But having said that, there is a big change as well, which has happened to the network focus because of this corona thing, that the entire data consumption has shifted to homes versus the earlier networks which were built for the office. So there is a big realignment which everybody is working on. So even if they were great value in CBDs, they have to now equally match their offerings at home, and home is getting a big focus. So there is no single answer to it. In some pocket, Jio will be strong. In some pocket, competition could be strong, and there will be pockets where both could be equally strong or equally weak. That there is a clear message, for Vodafone Idea, in the sense that they will have to boost up their capex offerings, because they are the most vulnerable with the highest postpaid in terms of revenue and volume, and they really need to go ahead with their fundraise quickly, so they can start investing in their networks. Else they would be more vulnerable. Bharti has been getting its act right and has been ahead on the 4G investments.
Right. Okay, so it's the question is whether these other players, Bharti and Vodafone, can really guard their turf, because Jio is on the prowl, and this time the aim is the postpaid customer. Thank you for that, Mr. Ramachandran and Rajiv. We'll take a very short break on the show, but on the other side, we have the India Revival Mission. Don't go away.